Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Over the past 3 days or so, we've got new episode descriptions for episode 3 to 16. So in today's video, I will be going over, discussing and analysing them and giving my thoughts on the episode descriptions. So without further ado, let's begin. Now before I commence with the descriptions themselves, I'd first like to address the airing schedule we'll be getting here. So Season 13 will be airing first over in Australia, I believe, and the airing schedule is completely messed up. So supposedly we're getting episode 1 and 2 on Monday, the 6th of July, 3 on Tuesday, and then here comes the really weird part, 4 and 11 to 15 on the Wednesday, and lastly 16 on Thursday. So this airing schedule is completely messed up, and I believe it is all real and confirmed, so yeah, this is just very strange. I'll be reviewing the episodes as usual, as I did for Season 12, in, well, hopefully higher quality, and I will be doing them every day, and in order, so keep that in mind. So I've already covered episode 1 and 2 descriptions in a previous video, so we're going to be diving straight into episode 3. The description reads the following. The ninja learn that the Geckles and the Munces' mutual hatred stems from the fact that each group thinks the others stole a pair of swords called the Blades of Deliverance, which were given to them by a hero who came to their mountains many years earlier. The hero, who the Geckles call Gilly, or Jilly, saved them from a dragon named Griefbringer, and gave them the swords as a farewell gift. So, this description sounds very interesting to me. The ninja will learn why the two tribes, the Geckles and the Munts, hate each other so much, and why there's a mini-war going on, and we'll most likely see some flashback scenes, or just old stories as to what exactly happened between Cole's mum and Griefbringer. Sounds like a pretty interesting episode to me for sure, and seeing what those swords can actually do will be another great thing to see. Next description here. Nia uses her elemental powers to coerce the Munts into agreeing to a truce meeting with the Geckles. At the same time, in the Geckle camp, Kai and Zane are forced to resort to trickery in order to manipulate the Geckles to attend the truce meeting. The Skull Sorcerer learns of the meeting and uses the skull of Hazard Dior to resurrect the fearsome dragon Griefbringer. Okay, so this one sounds even more interesting and cooler to me personally. We'll most likely be getting the scene where Kai and Zane get thrown down into that pit. Definitely getting some Season 4 vibes from that. But it looks as though we'll see the two tribes actually unite here and maybe settle their differences. Also, we may see more of the Skull Sorcerer's mysterious Skull of Hazard-Dior, or Hazard-Dior, or whatever, here, which I'm hyped for, and Griefbringer will be summoned. That thing looks very cool too. Moving on now, Cole, Princess Vania, or Vania, Master Wu, and the Lowly arrive at an ancient abandoned temple. Wu realises it is the heart of the mountain. The group discover an old, abandoned stone mech and a mural of Cole's mother, Lily. In the picture, she is depicted fighting the dragon Griefbringer, using the Spinjitzu burst. Wu tells Cole about the burst, a powerful form of Spinjitzu which his mother studied. Now, this description also sounds fantastic. It looks as though we'll be seeing that scene in which they stood around that glowing mural thing onto the floor, and I don't know about you guys, but that thing looks awesome. We'll also be seeing more of the stone mech and Spinjitzu burst and Cole's mother's relationship to it. Overall, even more great stuff here. The Skull Sorcerer hunts down the ninja who flee to the Geckle Strong Cave. The Skull Sorcerer promises to let the Geckles and the Munts live if they turn over the ninja. Nia stumbles upon a possible way out of the cave, and the Munts and the Geckles work together to clear a rubble-strewn tunnel. The Munts and Geckles begin to work past their differences, but then Griefbringer forces his way into the cave. Well, 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 just from this description alone it sounds pretty action-packed, and we'll be seeing even more of the Geckles and the Munts, and to be honest, I didn't really anticipate them being in these many episodes and playing this large of a role in the season, but I'm not complaining at all. Their arcs sound awesome. Also, I guess we'll be seeing more of the Skull Sorcerer, which is another plus side. Hopefully he will be receiving a lot of screen time in the season overall, and Griefbringer. I guess that this episode will end on a cliffhanger with him managing to break into the cave itself. Cole discovers that the stone mech is powered by elemental earth energy, and uses his powers to activate the mech. He straps the mech to the minecarts and uses it, like a crude rocket, to blast the minecarts back up the track to the top of the mountain. Along the way, however, the magma monster arrives and a desperate battle between Cole and the creature ensues. Well, this sounds like, believe it or not, another great episode. This too sounds very action-packed. That interesting looking magma monster will also be making its debut here as well, and I can't wait to see that thing. It looks awesome. I guess we'll be seeing the stone mech in action too, and probably see Cole actually in it and using it. Cole and the Upply arrive at the Skull Sorcerer's Keep and find the ninja locked into cages. The Geckles and the Munts have been put back to work in the chain gang mining Vengestone. Whilst Jay is formulating a plan, he sees the Skull Sorcerer draw the two fabled Blades of Deliverance. Hoping to retrieve the blades, Cole sneaks into the Skull Keep whilst Wu and the Upply set about freeing the ninja. Another great description here. We'll see the Swords of Deliverance, and I think the scene in which we see all the ninjas stood around in their battle poses with their Season 13 gear will happen as well. Let's now move on to the very last description we have so far. As Cole and the Skull Sorcerer face off, the Geckles and the Munts storm the keep. Plundar frees the ninja from their cages, and the ninja join in the battle. Vania arrives leading the winged Shintaro guards. The Skull Sorcerer destroys the supposedly fabled magical blades, revealed to be nothing more than ordinary swords. Griefbringer awakens and joins the fight, and all looks lost. Wow, okay, so I've said this probably a bit too much in this video, but I am a huge fan of this, genuinely, and how it sounds. It seems as though there'll be a big showdown between the Skull Sorcerer and Cole, as we saw in the trailer, whilst another huge fight breaks out between the Skeletons and Griefbringer and Wu. The Upply and the tribes of Shintaro. Now, I'm not too sure if this is a cliffhanger for the next season, or if it carries on in the description straight after. We just can't see that. We just don't know at this point. So, with this being said, this wraps up my look and breakdown of all the episode descriptions we have right now. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. If you're feeling generous, why not subscribe to the channel? It takes 2 seconds and helps me out so much. With all of this being said, I will see you all next time.